All right, what's going on, everyone? Captain here, back with another Marvel Contest of Champions video. Today is going to be the start of a brand new series on the channel that I talked about a couple of videos back called The Captain's Corner. I mentioned that I would like to do this, I don't know how often, maybe once a month, depends on your guys' feedback, where I invite a fellow content creator onto the channel and record a video with them, kind of discussing, just coming up with all kinds of random questions about them, about their channel, and what they like to do. And today, I am super excited to bring you guys the first episode, and we have our very first guest, and that guest is the one and only Luhdemtaters, and you can call him Taters. How you doing, man?
Doing really well. Thanks for having me. I
Awesome.
think that this is a pretty cool idea.
Yeah, thanks, man. I've been something I've been kind of wanting to do for a while, just to kind of, because I've always, when it comes to YouTube, I've always enjoyed like collaborative type of stuff, like watching those kinds of videos and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, it's something I've always kind of wanted to bring to the channel. I just never really figured out how to do it. So kind of came with this idea. Thought it might be kind of a fun way to give it a go and see how this goes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I've just got a couple questions for you. If you guys don't know, Luhdemtaters, he is another content creator. Been around for, how long is you have your channel around?
I'm guessing like 2 years, maybe.
2 years?
I think
okay.
about the time that I got into For Loki is when I started doing it.
Okay, yeah. So most of you have heard the name probably if you're familiar with. There's some people out there by the name of Legacy, Brian Grant. Some you might know them. Karate Mike. They're some people you might know. They all do Alliance War videos, and I hear them talk all the time of Luhdemtaters. You're basically the Alliance War guy for Loki. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, that would be pretty fair.
Yeah, so he's kind of you rule. So basically, then I guess so he's a member of For Loki. If you guys don't know, posts a lot of Alliance War videos on his channel, which we'll get more into that kind of stuff at first. But first, I just want to ask then. So, what is your basic role with For Loki then? What kind of do you see it as?
Well, I'm an officer. I am kind of the leader of Battle Group 3, BG3. Legacy is part of that battle group. Treeman. A lot of YouTubers, Lizer, Dap, but so I basically plan everything for BG3 for war. I'll assign paths, and then back in season 5, I started something called power ratings, which the entire alliance uses, and I presume we'll get into that a little bit more. But so I manage that, and then recently, through the power rating stuff, just to kind of spice some things up, we started adding in some special things to, make the war experience a little bit more fun for Loki, like player cards and stuff like that. So I do all of that stuff. I do the power ratings and the player cards, and then I also manage BG3.
So yeah, awesome. Sounds like you're, really involved in the whole Alliance War prep and everything. And we'll get more, like you said, we'll get more into the cards and all that kind of stuff as we go on, because that is something that I definitely want to talk about. Cool. So awesome, dude. So I got pulled his account up here. You guys can just kind of see. It's a pretty decent looking account. 4 rank 3s, Dr. Doom, Namor, Captain Infinity War, one of my rank 3s as well. And then Nick Fury's, he's pretty good. So cool, that's awesome. So next question I had was kind of just, where did you come up with the name Luhdemtaters? And am I saying that right, Luhdemtaters?
Yeah, Luhdemtaters. So it's just always been something that I used for like game IGNs. Not specifically Luhdemtaters, but like some kind of silly play on tater tots. There's not really any reason for it. I think the first time I did that was it was like tater sauce or something like that. And so I don't know. I do like tater tots.
I mean,
so
who doesn't?
That definitely comes into play.
Nice.
And it's usually not taken either. So that's pretty cool. Same IGN across different games. But that's about it. Just thought it would be something that was kind of funny.
So the Ludum part, is that kind of like a play on like love them taters?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, that's kind of what I was assuming. So cool, awesome. And then so what was kind of the thing that got you deciding to start your YouTube channel? Because clearly you've probably been playing the game for who knows how long, right? Like
about 4 years.
4 or 5 years, about the same as me. So what was it that you're like, maybe I should try starting a YouTube channel?
Yeah, so obviously, when I got to For Loki, I think I joined For Loki in season 1. So there were several other YouTubers in the alliance, and they kind of helped out with getting everything started. But in the early seasons, there was a lot of cheating and stuff, basically, just to put it bluntly. So as kind of a point of pride for Loki, really striving to be as clean as any alliance in the game, we think that we are at the top end.
Definitely, for sure.
It's a lot of it was accountability, just showing everybody, like, look, these are our fights. We make mistakes too.
Yeah.
And also just trying to let people see all the mistakes that I've made so that they can learn the same lessons that I've learned. That was a big thing. Just the only way really to get better is to fail. But if you can watch me fail instead, then that might prevent you from making a few mistakes. So it was basically a mixture of those two things, just accountability and, hopefully helping some people in some regard with certain fight experiences and interactions.
Nice. Yeah. It's always good to see, the people that are the best of the best failing, because then it makes the rest of us people that are kind of just average at the game feel better about ourselves. So it's always good. Part of me gets excited when I see like Legacy die in a video.
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe that's just me, but
yeah.
See,
everybody fails at some point. And with all the new nodes that they're introducing and stuff, a lot of it is just understanding what you can and can't do in certain node interactions with certain champs. And I think that that's extremely helpful for a lot of players, being able to see somebody like Legacy, who's one of the more skilled players in our alliance, make some mistakes and stuff.
Yeah, nice. So next question, so you went to New York Comic Con not this year, but last year, correct?
That's right. Yeah.
And so what was your favorite part about going? Was that your first time going to an NYC?
It was, yeah. Okay. So
what was your favorite part?
Oh man. So we rented a house. We had an Airbnb, this huge house. It was like 4 levels. It's like $4 million market value or something like that. And I think we had almost a dozen Loki people stay there.
Yeah.
And that whole experience, just staying with everybody, and that was really enjoyable. But we also had a special reserve dinner at Peter Luger that I think 10 of us went to. They wouldn't let us have more than 10 people because we didn't reserve the table like 3 months in advance or something like that.
Huh.
So they told us that they didn't have room, but we had this awesome dinner. The 10 of us that went, I don't know, it was just really cool to have dinner with everybody. And this is going to sound kind of silly, but it felt kind of like a family type of thing, which is a reflection, I think, of what we want our alliance to feel like. So that was definitely the highlight. And just in general, just hanging out with essentially half of our alliance for 3 days in person, meeting everybody. It's funny because you'll kind of pick up on people's personalities. Obviously, the more you spend time with them in chats, and everybody was like exactly the way they were in chats in real life and stuff. So it was just a cool experience.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. Like the meeting people, because like, we've been playing this game with these people for years, some of us, like, and we've talked to each other through the line, but we've never actually met. And so they're getting that opportunity to actually meet. And at the same time, it just feels like so awesome to finally meet. But at the same time, it just felt, like you said, like a family. Like we know each other already. And it's like, oh yeah, hey man, how's it going? Good to see you. It's like, oh no, this is the first time I'm actually meeting you though. Like,
I know,
so it's kind of cool just to see everyone in person be themselves, kind of how you expected. The only thing that really caught me off guard my first year going was Killer Beezy. He is so much taller than I expected when I met him.
Yeah, he was big. We saw him too. He was one of the Showdown finalists.
Yeah. So that was kind of, but yeah, it was just such an awesome experience. I've enjoyed it the last 2 years. And I saw was it your wife that did the vlog or what?
Yeah, she vlogged it, and I reposted it to my channel. And
so if you guys want to see another side of New York Comic Con vlog, he's got one on his channel. But yeah, that's one thing I enjoyed doing was the vlogs for sure. So
yeah, your vlogs were great, man.
no, thanks.
We would go through your vlogs and pick out all the people that we knew, like, oh, hey, there's that guy, take a screenshot and stuff. So pretty cool.
Nice. Cool. So there's a couple more questions, then we'll get kind of into the channel focus here. So who is your favorite character in the game, and who's the character that you want the most right now?
Man, I think my favorite champ in general, not necessarily my favorite champ to use, but I think my favorite champ in general is Captain America Infinity War. He's been for a while. I haven't really been using him that often just because I've got some other meta attackers that just cover more ground in war, but I really like using Magneto, the buff Magneto. I thought that they did a great job with him.
Job on that, yeah.
And he's a little bit repetitive to play because you're doing the same thing in every fight, but I really like him. In terms of the character that I want most, I would really like a Tigra. I don't. She seems really niche and unique and fun, and I don't have her. I think I might have like a 4-star, but I would like her as a 6-star. I think that would be pretty cool.
Yeah,
I could take her up to rank 2, kind of play around with her, and I think that she's got a lot of potential use in the future too for the game. So she's probably the champ that I would want the most.
Okay. Yeah, I got her as a 5-star, so I've kind of played around with her a little bit. Okay. I was like, oh, she's kind of fun, but
she's all right.
We'll see. I don't know much about her yet. I know she kind of has like some kind of unblockable thing, but yeah, I got to investigate more. But she does seem pretty fun, and yeah, so I think she has one of the 7-hit combos, right? Does she have a double medium?
Yeah, she's just really unique. She's got a lot of weird stuff, so I think that would be fun.
Cool. Okay, so then who is your least favorite character to fight in the game?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So there are a couple characters from just the last several war seasons that that I have a little bit of PTSD against. I think the main one would be Mojo. In war, during Flow, I was taking him as a boss often, and just a combination of the AI on the boss node and some of the degen damage that is really difficult to avoid in some cases that you can't avoid. You can get really unlucky with some of his prompts at certain times. He's probably my least favorite character to fight. Without Flow, he's obviously a lot more manageable, and I've taken a few since the Flow seasons, and that there hasn't been any issues. But I'm not a fan of fighting him. Another annoying defender is Storm Pyramid X, although Quake can kind of bypass her. But if you're not using Quake, she's glancing
everything.
She's also bugged, so that
that never helps.
Never helps. But I guess those two. But I'm sure that I'll think of somebody after this, but those two are pretty rough for me. PTSD for sure.
Yeah, the Flow Wars, I feel like kind of fortunate that, so I don't know if you know, but a couple months back I took a break from joining and being in an alliance, so I wasn't in an alliance for a period of like 5 or 6 months, so I missed from the time Flow was added to the time it was gone. Like I didn't ever have to face it.
Okay.
So I kind of got lucky, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. It's so annoying.
Yeah. Now it's just stubborn that I have to deal with, which isn't too terrible to have to work around.
No, it's not too bad.
That's cool. Then last question we got here is, what is one thing you wish you could change about MCOC?
That's a really good question. It's a loaded question. Obviously, there's a lot of
there's
stuff.
So much more. Obviously, like no bugs, but or maybe if there's a certain character you wish was changed or added or something or taken away.
I'll give you two because you could argue that one isn't necessarily an MCOC problem per se, but one is just I wish that there was a way to completely lock down and prevent cheating of any kind. And I know that that's going to be impossible, but that's a huge thing because For Loki, I think, is primarily a war alliance. And, that gets annoying. I think that they made a good step last season with the dockings that they did. But even still, some of those matchups that we lost, we weren't reimbursed for the lost points and stuff, and that matters to us. But MCOC wise, I think it would probably be masteries. And I know that this is a hot button topic. A lot of people have brought this up, but it would be nice if we could have presets or preset builds that we could flip between.
Yes.
As opposed to having to go in individually, mastery by mastery, level by level. And for Loki, I don't know, some of the other players manage it a little bit better, but I'm generally changing masteries like during a season, probably a dozen times a week. And
those units add up for sure.
Yeah, the units add up, and it's just annoying. It's just
especially when if you make one slight mistake, you accidentally put one more point somewhere than you meant to, and you gotta start all the way over.
It's probably masteries. I'm actually okay with the bugs. I mean, the bugs are going to work themselves out eventually, and it's a programming thing, so that those are complicated to fix anyway. But that would be a huge quality of life change. I think that would be the number one thing. If they did that, I would be super, super excited.
I think a lot of us would. That's something I've been asking for a long time as well. All right, so we got a lot of awesome information there. So let's go ahead and change gears and head over to your channel here. So here it is, guys. Luhdemtaters. If you guys aren't familiar with him, go check him out. Here's how it is spelled right there. I'll also, of course, have the link down in the description. But so let's kind of take a scroll through your channel here. It's very Alliance War based focused, I would say. And is that kind of your main focus? Is probably Alliance War?
Yeah. Absolutely. It's pretty much the only game mode I would say that I get excited about.
Mm-hmm.
So most of it is Alliance War stuff, and then there's some side series that I've put up. But yeah, pretty much all AW.
Yeah, here's that New York Comic-Con vlog that I discussed right there. And a couple tournaments. You guys do is it the 4 Loki tournaments, right?
Yeah, so DAP has organized a couple 4 Loki incursions tournaments that I generally stream. So that's fun. And then recently we were in, Dreamin' and I were in the community tournament too that Yeet and Hector won.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I was in that too. I decided to leave in round 1 though. You didn't want to stick around very long.
Gotcha, yeah.
I got matched up against Brian and Legacy round 1.
Brian and Lags, yeah.
I didn't expect to do much against them, so I don't do incursions very much myself though. Like that was the first time I'd done them in months. So
yeah, I'm not really a huge fan. I think it's kind of a long game mode, but it is a little bit more fun when you're competing against.
Yeah, it does. It definitely makes you want to do it a little bit more. So.
Yeah.
So when it comes to Alliance War, if you could have the same team for every Alliance War, like it didn't matter who you're facing, if you had to choose like 3 characters to be on your team for every war, who would it be? Obviously, hard choice because nodes and everything. But like, if you had to pick 3, who would be your 3 go-to?
So if I had to pick a team of 3, I would want to try to cover as much ground as possible. So I would pick Quake, Magneto, and probably Dr. Doom.
Okay.
Those should cover almost anybody.
Yeah.
I have a top power control champ, really 2 of them counting Quake. And then Magneto obviously is OP against metal champs, and there are a lot of metal champs. So that I think would be my 3. It would be pretty tough to die with that team, I think.
Yeah, I'd say so. And then okay, you guys have the power rating as you kind of alluded to earlier. So how did you kind of come up with that idea of the power rating, and how do you rate characters, and like how do you rate a fight? How do you guys go about doing that?
Yeah, sure. So I'll try to be as condensed as possible. I tend to overtalk this stuff, but so early when season started, I joined in season 1, and by season 3, I was managing BG3, and I just wanted to start like recognizing some of the people in the Alliance that were, that were just doing a great job. So we started doing basic, like at the end of the season, I would post a post in the 4 Loki news chat, showcasing the people with the fewest number of deaths in the Alliance, And then we were also doing stuff like these people had this many MVPs, like in-game MVPs, even though we know that those aren't terribly accurate. And then in season 5, I wanted to create something that was a little bit more like contextually accurate. People that are actually taking harder fights might be more likely to die, but they're also, helping the other people in their battle group by taking those fights. So I created power ratings, and it's evolved since then. It's gotten a little bit better, but the whole gist was we needed to start tracking all of the nodes or all of the fights that all of the members in our alliance take in every war. And when an alliance member dies to a node, then that's going to essentially increase the value of that node or the difficulty of that node. So basically, power ratings is going to award points to each player that clears a node, and the amount of points that are awarded to that player are based on the difficulty, how often our alliance has died to that node. So
Okay.
that's basically it. You get points for clearing a node. You lose points for dying. But in some cases, like a boss node, you're still going to have a net positive because the difficulty is higher. So you gain more points for clearing and you lose fewer points for dying there.
Gotcha. And then out of those, you've now come up with the trading cards, right? So let me pull some of those up on screen here real quick. There's one. Sure. And I think these are they look so cool, like the design and everything, and it makes me want one myself. But obviously, I'm not in 4 Loki. I'm in 2 Loki, but it's close. But yeah, I think it's just so cool. And then it have certain stats and everything. This one was for Brian Legacy. So this one was for someone who had a perfect season. So that's pretty insane. I think it's just such an awesome idea, and a way to get people involved in Alliance War. And like I think you said, it's kind of a way to incentivize, like, try to strive to be better even. So
yeah, exactly. So the cards obviously are just kind of an additive thing that we started a few seasons ago just to make it more fun. So up through season 17, we'd been doing power ratings for a really long time. And, people are really into the power rating stuff. We're all competitive, and it's a way to kind of have a friendly competition with our alliance mates throughout the season. And then the cards are just, instead of at the end of the season say, hey, congratulations, you won the power ratings for this season. We started introducing these cards. We started doing it for each war too. And then we've added different inserts for cards that are given for different things. And I don't know. It's become kind of a core component, I think, of the 4 Loki war experience.
Yeah.
We have a lot of people that want to join 4 Loki because of the power ratings and the cards. So it's just I don't know. It's just to add more fun to the whole process, because the war experience can get stressful. It definitely is expensive.
It was one of the reasons why I took a break back in there, because I was just tired of the grind for it. I was just like, I need a break.
Yeah, absolutely. I took a break for season 15. So season 14, I was actually the leader of 4 Loki. We placed 3rd, and I was just like burnt out. Yeah. So I took a break, and then I came back season 16. But it's a pretty stressful process. So this at least just kind of lightens it up a little bit, and it makes it a little bit more enjoyable, I think.
Nice. All right, so moving on to the next part of the video that I wanted to talk to you about is the part of the series, part of your channel that made me want to reach out and have you as my first guest was this Power Index series that you started doing. I think it's fantastically done. It's engaging, it's funny. You got some nice funny little quips in there and everything, and the way you do it, it's just great. It's a fresh take on doing a tier list, and it's extremely thought out. If you guys haven't seen it yet, go check it out on his channel. He basically makes a bar graph and gives characters a rating based on practical DPS, just going all the way throughout it. Obviously, he can explain it better. So let's go ahead. I'll pass it over to you. So what kind of gave you the inspiration to do this power index?
Yeah, sure. So a lot of YouTubers make their tier lists of champions. Seaton and Legacy have those, and I'm a fan of those type of videos. I love ranking things, so I like to see that stuff. I thought that it would be cool. I'm also super curious. And I like evaluating things. I like sports statistics, stuff like that. So I thought that it would be cool to try to numerically grade certain champs based on given values that they have, and essentially just try to make like a more math inspired tier list. And so that's
as
where
opposed to just like, this character is better than this character, like giving us visual cues like, oh, this is why.
Right. Yeah. So, I'm curious. So I like to see that stuff. If somebody says that this champ is better than this champ because of this, I want to investigate that to see if it's true. So that's kind of where it came from. And then I also do a lot of spreadsheet stuff. So I put some spreadsheets and some algorithms to use, and it turned out better than I thought that it would. So I made it into a little video series that's ongoing. There are a lot of champs to cover, and I'd like to get through all of the champs at some point. But yeah, and then the visual style is strongly influenced by, you could say that I kind of liberally borrowed the visual elements from a YouTube channel called Tierzu. He makes videos that essentially pretend like all of the animals on Earth are video game characters, and it's really funny. But he does something similar where he creates different characteristics like they're video game characters. And so yeah, I don't know. We kind of mashed all that stuff up together, and Power Index kind of popped out. So
nice, that's awesome. Yeah, you can kind of see here that this style, what it basically looks like, and I think this was one of the first ones you did. And I can just tell by the amount of detail that goes into this that the editing process probably isn't super fast. So definitely it takes time to do this. Just me, like if you watch my videos, then they're very basic editing. Like not much crazy happens. Like sometimes I'll zoom in on my face. Oh, crazy! But like, and then I see something like this, I'm just like, oh my gosh, that's as an edit on the editing side, it's impressive to see how well and clean everything comes out. And still it's concise. It's, I think another thing that this series shows is just your level of knowledge in the game, like alliance war based, and you're able to translate the character to actual seeing their stats and what's valuable about them and why. I think it's all great, and I wanted to showcase it and get more people to watch it, because you're getting good views on it already, but more people need to see this because it's good stuff, and I want to see more of it. And I think more people do as well.
I want to get them out. The videos do take me a really long time, so but I hope to get another one out here this month, and maybe it'll be like a monthly thing. I'm not really sure, but I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Yeah, so here's just the newest one he's done for Magneto here. Trying to find where it shows all of the he'll have like gameplay in there and everything. Stuff. The what?
The final score? Are you talking about the tier?
Yeah, I guess let's see. Yeah, he'll kind of go stat by stat and break it down. Where is it at here? I'm trying to get the bar graph on the screen. There we go. And there's the final one. So there's the final stats for Magneto. You can see significantly higher than Star-Lord, as kind of expected. So who's your favorite? Which one of these has been your favorite one to grade so far?
I think it was Magneto.
Yeah.
That was I think I enjoyed making that video the most. I think the one that I'm most proud of is the Quake one, because it was really, really difficult to put a grade on certain categories because of her play style.
Yeah.
She has a base attack rating, but she, typically you're not going to punch people with her. So it was really tough to figure out how I'm going to visualize that. So that took a lot of work, but it wasn't fun to make because it was a lot more complicated. So probably the Magneto one. I think that that's probably the best one so far.
Cool. So here you guys can see, just this is, he always has the list of all the ones he's rated so far, puts them on here based on the tiers and where they place. So Quake definitely being at the top of the list right there, by quite a wide margin too, for good reason. Because if you can play her right, guys, she's going to carry you. But yeah, I think, that's gonna just about do it for all the questions I had for you. Do you have any questions for me or anything you just want to kind of say to the people, I guess?
Well, I did want to ask you what your plans are for next year's Comic-Con, if you're able to make it. And obviously assuming that they have that, I know that you've documented the Comic-Con trips really well on the years that you've gone. Are you going to do anything differently, or anything that you want to make sure that you're able to do that you haven't been able to do the last couple of years that you've gone?
Of course, hopefully, as long as I'm allowed to able to go, I would love to go again. As for what I'd do differently, of course, I'd bring back the vlogs, because that's kind of been a staple for me at this point. I just, I enjoy them so much. They're some of the most fun I've had editing videos and making videos and just interacting with everybody. So obviously for me, I'm kind of picky when it comes to, like, I don't know, I would try to make something kind of the best it can be. And like, maybe you've noticed that by the video. We've had a couple takes here where I've messed up something. We got to go back and do this. So always just trying to make things better than the year before. So like between my first year doing the videos at Comic-Con, I just used an iPhone what I used for the vlogs.
Okay.
Maybe not everyone knew that. I didn't even have a microphone or anything. I just used it was like an iPhone 6, I think. It was a really old one. And I think they came out pretty well. And then the next year, though, after seeing the feedback from everyone, and I was just like, I stepped it up and actually bought like a vlogging camera. So I had an actual camera that had a kind of a built-in microphone for it. So I guess maybe if I were to move the next step would be to have like an actual, like, better microphone, because there's still that one is kind of shaky here and there. So maybe improve on that. And just try to cover, I don't know, different things, because obviously I don't want to make them the same as what they were the year prior. So that was something I tried to do.
What about, have you ever thought about doing San Diego Comic-Con now that you're out in California?
Yeah, I've considered it. I haven't looked into the process. I've heard that it's harder to get a press pass to go to that. So if I had to pay for it myself, it'd be a lot harder.
Okay, right, that makes sense.
But yeah, that is something that down the road I would absolutely love to go to, and maybe next year I'd cosplay too, if that's a thing. We'll see.
Yeah, San Diego Comic-Con is definitely a bucket list thing for me. Eventually, I'd like to
for
go.
Sure.
But,
cool. So what can they kind of expect to be seeing on the channel in the future? Any big plans coming up, or you planning on doing more streams? Because you said you stream the Incursions tournaments, but you don't do any other kind of streams, I don't think, really.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. There will be Incursions streams. Dreamin' and I are, and there's a new 4 Loki tournament we just completed the seeding round on. So we'll have that coming up. That'll be tomorrow. I don't know when people see this video, but that'll be on Sunday. And then obviously with the season starting next week, there are going to be a lot of war videos for the new season. And I am going to try to post here within the next week a video that tours all of the 4 Loki cards that we did for this past season, and also for season 20, because I never made a video touring the season 20 cards. I do have a video touring the season 19 cards, and they're always evolving. So we have a new design for every season. That'll be kind of cool. And then obviously my goal is to, at some point as soon as I can, hopefully before Thanksgiving, have another Power Index video, because I know that people really like those, and I really like them too. They just take so long, and I don't have unlimited time, unfortunately. I wish I did. I wish this was like a full-time thing for me.
Oh, I know, same.
I could devote more time to that stuff. But basically war videos, Incursion streams, a card tour video if you guys are interested in seeing what all of the cards look like for the last couple seasons, and then hopefully Power Index videos in the future.
Awesome. Well, guys, if you haven't already, go over to his channel, hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate you coming on and hanging out with me today. I think this has been a blast.
Yeah, man, I really appreciate it. I think this is an awesome series, and I'm flattered that you wanted to have me on to launch it.
Of course, of course. So, guys, that's going to do it for this one. Let me know down in the comments, who should I have on the next episode? What did you think of it? And if you have any other questions that I didn't ask for him, go ahead, either head over to his channel, ask him in a video, or ask in my description, and then I can send it along and get an answer, or whatever you guys have, or for future videos, future question ideas for questions. I don't know what I'm saying at this point. But yeah, that's going to do for this one, guys. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you next time.